I've been, when I'm listening back to these things, I'm usually playing games. And I have it set to like 125 speed.
Nice.
And you sound coherent still. And you seem like poignant and you can understand what you're saying. I sound... it's... Is this what I sound like? And I go to convince myself that no, this is sped up Theo. But I could probably work on my diction and pacing myself, as they say.
It's probably because I put so many pauses in between my words that when you speed me up to 125, I actually just sound like a normal human. Not like taking so many breaks.
Because you think before you speak?
Yeah.
As opposed to what I'm doing is just...
My brain...
Stream of honkingness.
Honkingness. Very good. Yeah, I don't know. It's... my brain moves faster than my mouth moves. And like the number of times that I'm like having conversations, especially when I'm having, I find like important conversations with people, and they'll say something to me and I'll just look at them and be like, I need a second. Like, I just need to like, you need to wait. My brain will get to the point. Just hold, please.
Parsing,
yeah.
parsing, reply.
Exactly. There's been definitely times on stream where I've just like had to think about something, and like there's a moment where you can just see my brain and like my eyes just like look off into the middle distance, and it's like my brain is going like but it's really just like a couple of seconds, but it feels like so much more. And if I go back and look at those moments and then see what I actually said versus what I was thinking, it's like completely different.
Oh, just watching yourself back in clips. Where you're reading something and you don't see the chat, and I just sit there open mouthed going That's how you want to look at yourself.
Yeah.
Should we say hi to people?
Oh, we should say hi to people. Hello.
Welcome to Mostly Finished Thoughts. I am your host, Theodor Elfving, joined today by...
Oh, never mind. I was going to say I am also your host, but I guess I'm the special guest.
Yeah, but you're joined by also the host. Isn't that how people say? No.
Yeah. I mean,
Perhaps.
something like that.
I don't listen to that. My only reference is the other thing we've been talking about before, the Parks and Rec thing.
Oh, yeah.
Jerry Marbles.
My name's Little Matty is the point we were trying to get to. I got some very lovely messages this week from a fan of the podcast, which sounds crazy to say. But they were very sweet, and they just said that, they don't get to catch my streams very often, but that they've really enjoyed listening to the podcast and like getting to know me a little bit better. And
wow.
It was so sweet, but also just like,
that's fantastic.
Like made my like throat tighten, and I'm like, oh gosh, I wonder like, like who am I on the podcast? I don't know. I mean, I'm myself, but you always have that moment of like, oh.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But yeah. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Have you checked our ranking in Norway, by the way?
So I got an email about it. I think we've gone down. I've got bad news.
Cease and desist from Norway.
Let me see if I saved it. I think I might have deleted it. Oh no. Okay, we've gone down 34 spots. So we are now number 216 in Apple Podcasts in Norway.
I guess we just shut this down now then.
Yeah, it's all over. It's all done.
We were trying to capture that Norwegian audience. And
alas, here we are.
But still, 216th place in the leisure category in Norway. If you're Norwegian, listen to this. I think you can make a killing in the leisure category.
It's true. I think maybe it's because I did change our category.
Oh?
It is funny though, like when I go to this link, I've like followed this link through, it's a website. If you wanted to follow along, it's a website called Podkite. It's free. I just have our podcast hooked up to it to like see the rankings and stuff.
Mostly finished.
But I think it is funny that it does only show me Norway. Canada.
It only shows me Norway as well.
Right?
Latest top rankings, 228 places in Norway.
Which makes me wonder if this
Performing arts. Oh.
Yeah, I changed our category last time because we did talk
fancy.
specifically about music and performing. And I was like, you know what?
We do that,
I feel bad calling us a music podcast because I wouldn't say we really talk about music, but we definitely talk about performing. So maybe
That
this
we do,
makes
yes.
more sense.
Cool.
Anyways, yeah, it's very strange. But thank you for listening to us in Norway. Thank you for listening to us in general.
Yes. And for all the kind words. People have been very kind and lovely.
So we started on a tangent last week after we recorded the episode, and then we were like, we need to put a pin in this and then talk about. We have kind of a list of questions and topics that we wanted to talk about. I think you have the list. I do not.
Yes.
Oh wait, no, I think we maybe both have the list, but I don't have it
it's on
pulled
the
up.
shared Google. This is a professional production. We have a joint Google Drive folder
Yeah,
under topics.
perfect. I will get there.
There we go. Oh, those are some great things, actually. Nice.
Well, this is how we got on our tangent last week. But I see, did you add that rated by the stock guy thing? Did that happen to you recently?
No, that was a long time ago now.
Oh, okay.
Or before the front page.
Oh, okay.
Insanity.
Okay. I don't think I'd seen that had happened before.
That was intense as well.
Yes.
But what a wonderful have you experienced his community?
So I've experienced his community secondhand. So a couple months ago, he rated Tara Naomi, and then she rated me with the leftovers, which was still a significant number of people, which I thought was amazing. Like the number of people that had stuck around, and I have some members of that community who still hang out on my stream, but I have not been blessed by the stock guy as of yet. Firsthand. But I hear only lovely things.
They were incredibly kind and wonderful. Mm-hmm. They wanted roll ads was the first thing they said. Since you have so many people watching you, roll ads to make some revenue.
That's really sweet, actually. That's a neat thing to think about.
And I live learned the Tendy Man. Have you heard of the Tendy Man?
No.
It's alternative lyrics to the Wellerman.
Oh.
Soon will the Tendy Man come. Yeah. To fly our rocket into the sun. Oh. One day when the trading's gone, we'll take our gains and go.
Wow. That's awesome.
There once was a stock that put to sea. The name of the stock was the GME. Yeah. Never sung the Wellerman before that either.
Yeah.
So it was fun.
That's fun. Wellerman's fun to sing for sure. This is not how professional podcasts do this, but we're not a professional podcast. But the note underneath that is to talk about how you handle a raid like that after being on Twitch for a while. And I think that we've talked about raids a little bit before.
A little bit, yeah.
About like raid etiquette and like, I don't know, like what do you... Apologies if this is a repeat. We will get to fresh content momentarily. But what do you do when you get raided? And is it different than what you used to do when you first started? I
now try to greet raiders. If I'm mid song, I'll try to like finish the song and perhaps weave their name into it. Mm-hmm. And say, hello, I'm Theo. I play music. Other than that, I just try to like keep up the same tempo.
Yeah.
Whereas... when I started out, I was often very floored and thinking, wow, there's so many people. Oh my God, I need to do everything. And getting flustered.
Yeah. Yeah.
How about you?
Depending on what I'm doing will change what happens. Like if I'm in the middle of like a song that's not a loop, I'll usually wait until I have like a moment within the song and then I'll say thank you and welcome and stuff. And then I'll keep playing the song. Or like if I'm in a loop, I'll try and like work in their name to the loop sometimes, or like do something cute like that, just to try and keep them involved. And then I have my like standard, hi, my name is Elena Matty, I'm a singer-songwriter from Toronto, Canada. I just say that one line every single time.
I need to record one of those the terms and conditions, the fine print that's being read in a lower voice quicker to have like a soundbite to play. Hello, my name is Elfving. I'm using
terms and conditions may apply.
Yes, for everyone.
Yeah,
but it's weird when you get those raids, because it was the same thing with front page, like being suddenly you're playing in a pub and then suddenly you have 3,000 people watching you. You go, what? And Danny got raided the other day by T-Pain.
Yes, he did.
Which is that is a sentence I would never think I would say in my life. I'd know someone like degree to T-Pain.
I haven't laughed so much in so long. Like, my partner and I was there when it happened, and I was modding for him when it happened. And so I just immediately turned on slow mode. I was like, oh my God. And just like, we couldn't stop laughing. Not because it was necessarily funny. It was just such an obscene situation. And for those of you who don't know, our friend Danny the Hamilton has a shtick where when he gets raided, he writes a song for the people who've raided him. And so immediately we're like, oh my God, he has to write a song for T-Pain.
For T-Pain.
That's the most ridiculous thing. And just like watching Danny coming to terms with the fact that he was writing a song for T-Pain was just so absurd. It was such an odd moment, so magical and so ridiculous. And like every time you said it out loud, it was like it didn't get any less ridiculous. It was just continued to be hilarious.
I mean, it's because it's T-Pain. T-Pain isn't like a mortal being that you consider like, oh, perhaps one day I'll have an interaction with T-Pain or anyone close to him.
No.
And then suddenly T-Pain is in someone's stream.
Yeah.
Same thing with Mike Shinoda. When he raids people, it's Mike Shinoda. What?
I feel like, at least for me, like the Mike Shinoda.
You're more of a T-Pain girl?
I guess. I think because.
You like boats more, and yeah.
I think because Mike Shinoda is like, he's a Twitch person now.
Yeah, he is.
Like, he's on Twitch regularly and consistently. And he interacts with people on Twitch, I think, more than someone like T-Pain is doing. Yeah. And I think it's different because, like, Mike Shinoda is part of Linkin Park. But it's not, like, it would be crazy if you were just rated by Linkin Park. Like, that is crazier to me than being rated by Mike Shinoda. But that
would have made me believe in ghosts as well. I'm sorry. That was in very bad taste. I'm very sorry. And also very proud of it at the same time. I don't know if we cut this or...
That's up to you.
Because that was just a while ago. That was the anniversary of his passing just a few days ago.
Oh, really?
Chester Bennington, yeah. Because I remember that being a weird month with Chris Cornell first.
Right.
And then Chester just a few weeks after that. That took a dark turn.
We took just a moment of silence for the passing of these musicians. Okay, good moment.
Those deaths really took me.
Yeah.
They gripped me.
Do you find that you're often affected by deaths of celebrities?
Never. When Bowie died, it's the way of life. Mm-hmm. People get older and they die. Mm-hmm. But like having Chris Cornell is one of my favorite voices and people of all time.
Wow.
And hearing about how he,
yeah.
I'm tearing up just talking about it. And all his lyrics that are like pointing towards where it's headed. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Such an unnecessary thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is not a musician, the one that hit me the hardest for whatever reason was Robin Williams.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think I really enjoyed his comedy, and I enjoyed his kind of outlook on life. All of the interviews that I'd seen of him and stuff, and just he was such a light in a lot of people's lives. And so when he passed, that really that really hit really hard. Was it was a bummer.
Oh, I was not prepared for all these feelings.
Sorry, we got in our feelings.
No, it's my own dang fault. So a raid from T-Pain. just
to bring it right back around. A raid from T-Pain.
Tying up that sack of feelings. But I mean, if you were a new streamer and that happened, I think my head would just explode.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And I think even now, if T-Pain raided me, my brain would still explode.
Yeah.
But it would probably heal a lot faster. But
I think it would get through, and Danny did exceptionally well.
Yes,
as well. He was
Danny.
very calm and very nonchalant about it, which was like, I don't know. I do.
Have you had a rage song from Danny though?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
I've rated him once, and it was amazing.
I've rated him a few times because our times tend to line up. But the one song that I always remember and that just gets stuck in my head is, for some reason, the only thing he could think to rhyme my name with, because he was trying not to rhyme it with banana, was Santa.
What?
And so the chorus was Alanna,
Santa.
We know you're Santa. You gotta come clean, 'cause Santa Claus is you.
That is quite.
It's so bad, but so good and so embedded in my brain.
I sometimes sing his jingle that I made about me. Theodor, you're a sight when my eyes are sore. Which was such a... I was sitting here like legit laugh crying, like the ugly tears, just sitting here snorting because it was wonderful.
That's great. Yeah, I think he's doing a good job. he's doing a good thing.
Oh, sorry. I will put away the things that are making sounds.
Oh dear. How dare.
Oh dear.
How dare you.
How dare you. First of all,
how dare you.
Your inner and my inner Kelly Kapoor.
Yeah.
But just raids and stuff, and how accustomed you get to things.
Yeah.
Because it was daunting streaming initially and going, there's so many things, and now you take so much for granted, and I'm so used to things happening that you don't even like bat an eye that 100 people come in and you go, okay, that's fun.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, there's 100 people here.
Oh my God, I don't. Okay, so I feel bad because there are a couple of people that are candidates for who was my first big raid, but I can't actually remember which one of them is true.
Who raided you?
Yeah, who raided me when I was first starting. I know that Two Guys, One Couch raided me very early on. I believe that Livy in the Middle, I know they're often people's first like huge raids. I've talked to a lot of people who that was their first big raid. So there's her or them. But I think there was someone else. I want to say like Bella Goldwyn actually might have been one of my first like really big raids. Came in with over like 100 people, and my brain was like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And it was funny. I think at the time when I first started, whenever I got a big raid, I wanted to end my stream as soon as possible afterwards.
What? Why?
Because
fatigue or
pardon?
Fatigue? Just being exhausted from...
No,
or like
because
ending on a high note?
I wanted to end on a high note, and I wanted to take all of those people and raid somebody else. Like, it was like this feeling of like, well, I've got all these people now. Like, I have friends that could also use all of these people. Like, maybe I'll just like end after a couple of songs, and I'll end on a high note, and I'll like send them all over. And I think there was also a part of me that was scared that they were all going to leave. And so the sooner that I ended, the less of a chance there was that I was going to find out that everyone secretly hated me. And that's not something I think about anymore.
That's the old comparison beast talking. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've had so we were supposed to talk yesterday, and we didn't. Neither of us were having very good mental health days. So my day yesterday was also just incredibly busy. But I had a very bad comparison beast day on Tuesday. Just real bad. For no reason.
I think comparison beast must have been doing the rounds worldwide.
Oh no.
One of those days. Because it was, wow.
Yeah.
When you're feeling like, I can't sing, I can't play an instrument, I can't do anything. Why am I even here? I'm just a burden on everyone.
Yeah.
It's a lot better today, but it's weird when that happens. And especially when you know it's happening in your headspace, and you can't control it. You can try not to focus it on it. It will just do its thing and then pass on.
Yeah. Yeah.
But those days are terrible.
Yeah, absolutely terrible. And you can't reason yourself out of it. Like, we talk about the compare beast a lot on this podcast. In fact, I think so. Today is August the 4th, 5th. August the 5th is a Thursday today. And the episode that comes out tomorrow is going to be episode 5. This is episode 7. And I think episode 5 might be our best episode. At least it's my favorite episode so far. Yeah. Because I think that we both... What is that?
The old skateboard.
Oh.
It's a street youth.
Oh, damn them youths. But I think that both of us are very honest in that podcast about those feelings and talking about how it feels to be kind of at the point where we are.
Yeah.
But I had a point that I was getting to. Oh yeah, just the compare beast is something that I think should be talked about more often amongst many streamers, because I do think that we all deal with it and we all cope with it in our own way, and that it's so easy to look at other people and be like, oh, well, they're obviously not having that problem because they're already doing blah, 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 blah. Yeah, exactly. But like, we seem calm and collected to everyone else. So,
well, speak for yourself.
I am speaking for myself as a person who watches your stream.
Okay. Then.
You don't seem phased in the moment.
Okay, that's good.
Do you find that as soon as you hit go live, you feel immediately better?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a healthy thing, though. Come to think of it, like you're feeding the addiction, you're scratching the itch, going, no, but if I only a little more streamage, then I'll be fine.
I find it's
because you get validation when you go live, not validation in the way of the people love me, but in the of like there's actual people to hang out with. It's not a fantasy thing I've dreamed up. There's actually people who I want to interact with and hang out with, which is amazing. And every time you see people show up in chat, it's just, wow, they showed up today again. I mean, they obviously have the internet connections, and yet they insist on showing, and that's incredible that people are spending their time.
Yeah, and I find that's the same thing. I'll have such bad anxiety leading up to going live, and then my mouth just made a weird noise. Let's just redo that. I'll have such weird anxiety like leading up to going live, and then as soon as I go live and people are coming in and saying hi, and something that I say a lot on my streams is people will be like, oh, how are you? And I'm like, better every minute, because every moment that I'm there and that people are there, I feel better.
Yes. And it's not the anxiety, because I understand that some people have anxiety about going live. And I'm very lucky and glad that I'm not one of them. That I don't feel the dread of hitting the go live and going, oh no.
Yeah.
It's the opposite.
Yeah.
It's more life dread the demons are blaring full
Yes.
full on, and then that drowns it out by doing something.
Yeah, I agree.
But I mean, it's the same thing with like going for a run or exercising. Also does the same thing for me.
Yeah.
Doing something to help.
Yes. Doing something is always the best thing for me. I find that I always forget how beneficial swimming is for me. Running, I can get to that point that like kind of like I call it like a dream state where you reach a point where you're running, you're not thinking about running anymore. You're just kind of like dreaming and your feet are moving and it's nice. You still get tired and stuff, but like your brain is in this weird like serotonin state kind of.
Yeah.
But I find I can get there much faster with swimming, maybe because you're underwater. So like you don't have to pay attention to as many things. Yeah. And like I've been swimming for so long that like I'm never thinking like, okay, I've got to breathe now, or like, oh, I'm so out of breath, or like I'm panicking or whatever. Like I'm just like in the rhythms like so quickly. And I haven't been able to swim, like properly swim in a pool since the start of COVID. Which has been a giant bummer, but I just remembered that I have time booked at a pool tomorrow.
Oh,
whoa,
tomorrow?
That's so
you should see Alana's face. She looks so happy.
So excited.
That looks like the glee of kids before Christmas. Santa.
I have a 45-minute slot booked at a public pool tomorrow, and I get to go and put my bathing cap, my goggles on, and like swim. And I'm
you're doing
very
the whole
excited. Very excited.
Nice.
Yeah.
I walked down to the ocean the other day with my wife. It's just a short walk to the beach. But we brought along our swim gear, and then I set out jogging. So she went down to the beach and took like a spot, and then I did a 30-minute jog, and then I jumped into the water. That was amazing.
Yeah, that's gotta feel really good.
One of the best sensations I've had. Did I tell you about last year about running and swimming? When I thought, oh my God, it's the new me.
No.
I'm going to jog down to the ocean or sea, and then I'm going to take off my shoes. I'll be running in my swim trunks, and I'll run down, jump in the water, and then I'm going to jog home. And I thought, perhaps I should Google this before to see if there's any downsides to doing this. If people have any recommendations. No, nothing on the internet. I can tell you now. If you're jogging in swim trunks that have net in them, like the mesh thing, no, don't do that. That was one of the weirdest, most painful sensations I've had. It felt like being sandblasted, and I think I ran for like 3 kilometers before I realized that this was no bueno, because it was like, yeah. So don't do that.
Oh my God.
That is 100% how I operate, though.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going, I'm going to try this new thing. I'm going to do this fully. I'm going to run this, do this. Not try like a bit. No. Run to the sea, run back.
Yeah.
And then injury, and then go, nope, okay, done with that.
Oh my God. I'm lucky my parents are both runners. They do like crazy distances. They do like marathons. My dad's done an ultra marathon, which is like 100 kilometers. They're mental. I don't know how they do that, like super long races. It's crazy. And so like when I was like, okay, well, I'm going to start running, I already had all this knowledge. Like they gave me their running gear, and they're like, okay, well, like you have to make sure you're doing this. And like, I think something that's important for people to realize when it comes to like fitness is like, don't worry about what you look like. Worry about what you feel like. Like, because there's a lot of like trendy workout clothes, trendy like shorts or shirts or like sports bras or whatever that will chafe, that will fall down, that will not be supportive enough, that will not work properly. And like, I guarantee you that every other runner is looking at you going, they're just trying to look good. They're not admiring how nice you look. They're saying like, ooh, they're in pain.
It's very seldom I look at another one going, oh, wow. But I do look at other runners when they look the part where you go, why are they dressed like... It's like when people go hiking and they hike like a 3-kilometer trail and they have like the backpack made for weeks in the wilderness.
Yeah.
And you also go, I see you bought a shop, sir. I run mostly shorts and tank top.
Yeah.
Because it's very comfortable. I look like a bumbling fool. I am a bumbling fool, and I'm perfectly fine with that.
Well, yeah, you have to wear what is going to be comfortable and like breathable and isn't going to like bother you while you're running. And like you're not going to like you shouldn't have to think about your clothes while you're running. If you're thinking about your clothes while you're running, you're wearing the wrong clothes.
That's good. And also imagine it being a few degrees warmer than it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I run very hot, and that was a very good advice for me. Like even if it's like 5-10 degrees outside, tank top is still good.
I've discovered that, so I don't sweat properly. I don't know why this is. I think we've talked about this on stream before, that I just sweat solids for some reason, so I just get like really grainy.
I just see. I have a mental image of you sweating solids, and it's so weird. And it's making a thud noise when it falls down.
It just grows and then like falls off of me.
Square block of blob coming from your forehead.
It's more like tiny grains of sand, or I guess salt is what it is, on my skin.
Salt?
Yeah, because it's just sweat. It's like my body's like, I need to sweat, but then it doesn't do the liquid part. It just does the salt part. So it just expels salt out of my skin, and then I'm just grainy. Anyway, I'm very bad at regulating heat, but I've discovered that my hands are the one place that like I really sweat out of. Like my hands and my lower back. I can't explain it. And like I was doing a workout a few weeks ago and my hands were just like soaking wet. Theo is losing his mind. You cannot see him. He's crying. Thinking about my sweaty hands.
Chunky forehead blobs and then sweaty hands just pouring water.
I gotta use the sweaty hands to get the chunk off of my forehead.
And then like all grip, everything's just moist, like you have those raisin hands.
Oh yeah. It's gross.
Okay. I've been a sweaty man since birth. My mom. This is a weird story. My mom had to come in and change me when I slept when I was a kid. Not because I peed the bed, because I was sweating so much.
You were too sweaty. Interesting.
Yeah, so I soaked the linen.
Yeah.
Yeah. My pajamas, and it's gotten better as a disclaimer, but I still sweat a lot. And when I used to work in Gothenburg, my old boss, when we went on the trams, his niece was with him, and she was looking at me, going, "Uncle, is Theo okay?" And my boss went, "Well, you know, some people have superpowers, and Theo's superpower is that he's sweaty all the time, from May until August." Thanks. Thank you.
I think I think I'm just consistently dehydrated. Despite drinking what I think to be a sufficient amount of water, I think that's why I don't sweat properly.
How much water are you drinking?
Like a few bottles a day, like big bottles. This is a large bottle.
That's a big bottle. That's a big bottle.
For reference, I'm holding up a bottle that is larger than my head. But I'll drink like one or two of those a day, and then like a glass of water in the morning, and then a glass of water with dinner, usually. So like, I don't know. I feel like I should be properly hydrated, but
yeah, it would seem so. You're just salty.
I'm just salty. I'm not a spicy tater. I'm a salty tater.
Yeah.
Which is kind of true, to be honest. I feel like I am more salty than I am spicy.
No. Are you? Huh? That was some of the weirdest noises I've made in a long while.
You were talking about, you had a bit of a spicy moment. Was that today or yesterday?
Oh, no, it was today. Some wonderful person came into stream. They were there for quite a while. They were quite friendly. And then they said, it sounds like you're off tempo. As I was playing Don't Think Twice, It's Alright. And I used to struggle a lot with tempo, playing with other musicians when I started out. So it's a hot potato for me, or a hot button, where I go, don't talk to me about my tempos. or fluctuation in them. So, and then the person continued talking about tempo and that I should use a metronome when I practice. So I pulled out my phone whilst playing the song, using the left hand, just fretting the notes and singing. Pulled out my metronome app and started playing along with that. Just to spite him. Now I'm realizing that there are probably 100 other people there who perhaps do not like the sound of the metronome. But, well, sometimes the metronome has to make an appearance.
I think that's hilarious. I think that's the best reaction you could have had, was just, well, you want this? Okay.
Have I told this story about the person who said, play something more interesting?
No. What does that
was a
even
few
mean?
weeks. That was incredible. It was a few months back where they said, you're just playing the same chords all over. Can you play something more interesting? I was playing the same song. Are you familiar with melody, sir? With chords? Play something more. And then I just started playing chromatically and just doing weird noises. Because that's also... when I get cornered, yeah.
I like that a lot. I was very close to biting someone's head off on Tuesday night. Was very close.
Yes. I would need to hear about this.
This is actually a different story than I think the one you might be thinking of. Yeah, I went 2 days in a row of having someone that I was like, waving my spice fingers all over the place. But someone was like new and they came in and they were like, you know, what do you find is the most challenging thing about being a music streamer? And so I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to answer this really genuinely. So like I've talked about, you know, it's really hard not to compare yourself to other people and that you're on your own journeys and like, don't be discouraged, but thinking that you're not as good as other people. Like I answered in such like a sincere way. And like right after I finished answering it, they go in chat and they're like, why don't you add a free or like a channel point clap or like clap emote? Lots of other streamers have it.
What?
And so I kind of came back and I was like, well, I have like, if you follow me, I have the like, I'm in the beta for the free follower emote. So like, if you follow me, my clap emote is available just by following me. And I have clap emotes in BTTV. So like, you can use either of those. They're like, like, no, like the sound of applause. Lots of other streamers do it. And I literally Theo, I was so close. I was so close to just being like, I literally just got through telling you that I don't like to compare myself to other people. And you are coming back saying, but all these other people do this thing. Why don't you do this? And it's like, I have nothing against the people that have those applause. It doesn't fit my vibe. I do not want it. And like so many people in my chat, so I ended up talking about it on Wednesday. I didn't bring it up that day. And everyone in chat was like quiet when he was saying this. And so the next day I was like, oh my God, you guys, I wanted to blow up so badly on that person. But I felt bad because like they were being nice and they were trying to be helpful. And I didn't want to just like clap back immediately, but it was just like,
you mean with sound? I'm sorry.
with sound effects.
Sorry.
But it was just such a ridiculous thing. Like, well, why don't you have this? Like, so many other people have this. And it's like, and I said this to everyone that I was talking to about it on Wednesday, that like, if you've been in my channel, even just more than once, I'm not even going to give you like a time span. If you've come and followed, been in chat, like been active in chat 2 days, and then you have a suggestion or something that you want me to do, or that you wonder why I do a certain way, or something that you think could improve on my stream, cool. That's totally fine. Like, I've improved my stream a lot by taking feedback from people.
Yeah.
But you don't get to come in day one, minute one, and say, hey, why don't you do XYZ? It's like, no, I don't have to listen to you.
Yeah. And especially how, first of all, how dare you?
Yeah.
But yeah, coming into someone's, it's like going to someone's place of business and going, why don't you hand out free samples? What you're doing? This is not how we do. I can't even wrap my head around how this person then interacts in the rest of their life. If this is how they are on the internet, unsolicited advice off the bat.
Yeah,
and it's also like it's such a voluntary experience to be an audience member on Twitch. Like this person can go anywhere. But decides that, no, you, Alanna, you have to carry my cross as well and be happy for me.
Yeah.
But how? No, that is not at all how this works.
Yeah.
I am here voluntarily playing music for you, and that is it.
Well, that's exactly
I have
it.
no further obligation towards you than...
No.
There's actually none. There's no one who pays me a salary for this. This is all very voluntarily. We all depend on each other for this.
Yeah. Yeah. It's...
Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's just that it's...
Because that dawned on me the other day.
Yeah.
That there's no boss. I've been working on the assumption that someone controls me, and it's only me, the sandwich monkey, that goes play guitar and make the money. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
no,
it could all fall apart. Yeah.
It's just the gall of someone to like make a real-time suggestion about how I can be different. Theo is once again losing his mind.
in DMs. I do not want to disrupt your stream. I am now coming to you in your direct messages after the stream so I can linger in your brain.
Yeah. Like, I'm still a human when I stop streaming.
Like your headspace, please.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want you to live in my brain. I don't want that. I don't want you in there.
They succeeded, though.
They did. Just don't offer advice to people that you don't know.
Or have asked for it.
Yeah, like...
Should we just boil it down to just don't?
Just
Sir,
don't.
or madam, if you're listening to this, just don't.
Just don't. Like...
Reverse Nike.
Yeah, it's not just do it. Just don't.
No. People.
It's so weird.
Like, I feel weird when I talk about, like, eating meat. Because we shouldn't be eating meat. That's, like, the common fact. I try to eat more, like, alternative things. I still eat meat. But I feel that could trigger people. And they would be in their right to approach me going, could you, if I was, like... condoning or encouraging people to eat meat, that would be a weird thing.
Yes.
Because as a society, we could move on to like a better. If we all just went, okay, stop killing animals, stop eating meat. Let's just. It's a worthwhile thing. Oh, but not being vaccinated for the common good and glorifying people taking a stance.
Yeah.
I was just reading on Twitter before we started this conversation, and my brain was on fire. That is also a thing I've been doing lately, neglecting my brushing my mental teeth with meditation, and you're like opening. Someone sends. I see something on Discord I need to reply to, and I think, oh no, okay, I need to answer this. Formulate things. Oh, I'll just browse Twitter. I'll just check my feed, and then I'll start scrolling Twitter. I'll get very, very stressed about the things I'm reading. And then I'll open Instagram, a quick Reddit, and then back to Discord going, oh, still haven't done this. Ah, good. Twitter, hello.
And then the cycle
and then
starts
lying
again.
on the couch going, help.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now I've started meditating every morning again and nightly. And it helps a lot.
Good for you. Yeah. I had a night like that. Actually, Tuesday night after I streamed, I was trying to go to bed. I was so exhausted. I'm like, I'm going to go to bed just like almost straight out, which we've talked about before is not easy to do. But I ended up being like, you know what, I'm going to do yoga. And so I ended up doing like a 35-minute yoga video. Because yoga for me is like, I can't meditate. I'm very bad at it. But yoga is a meditation for me. And having that like guided movement, it's just a moving meditation. And it helped a lot. And then I slept and it was fine.
Yeah, it's amazing.
This was a tangent, but that's okay.
Wow. So our list of topics, we've now covered the difference of how you handle being on whichever one. So we done one topic.
Yep, we did one.
So T-Pain rated Danny. And,
T-Pain did rate Danny. Yes.
Third way around. And I've been.
Yep.
No,
go ahead.
No.
I had nothing.
No,
Go.
No, go ahead.
No, don't do this.
A Swede meets a Canadian. The two most sorry people, friendly, and say sorry all that. No, you first.
No, go, please.
No,
sorry.
No, I would never. It says here streaming games. I think this was like before we started the pod, even when I wrote this down. I have since streamed games, and you've also streamed games.
I'm streaming games tonight.
You played. What are you streaming?
I'm doing Death's Door tonight, which you've been streaming, so I've been avoiding watching you play it because I don't want to be spoiled on anything. But I hear it's very good.
It's very good.
That's nice.
Yep. You have a lot to look forward to.
Oh, that's good. I'm very excited about that.
At what time do you stream so I can come into your stream and spoil everything with another account?
I'm streaming at 9, so late for you.
Is she at this part yet? Has she seen the blah, 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 blah?
Oh, my God. So something actually that I think ties in when I look at these topics. So I think it's super interesting what you were saying about the eating meat thing. Because I think about that too. And I don't think I've ever put it into words before. Like, I don't think I've ever said that out loud to someone before, that like I do think about that. And like I have things on my treat stream and I try not to have stuff that has meat in it. A lot of it's vegetarian. And like I do also still eat meat. Not often. We are like pretty close to.
She's eating a T-bone steak. That's what she's.
I don't really like steak, to be honest. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's okay. It's gonna be okay.
Okay. I just need a moment here.
Okay. It's fine. Yeah, I don't know. I think that there is something to that. I think the other thing, so one of our topics that is on here is talking about like drinking during stream as something that's normal. And I think that there is a level of sensitivity that you have to have as a content creator, that acknowledging what common triggers are for people. Like you kind of touched on that with the like eating meat thing, that you're like, I don't want to like trigger someone. I think that's a really good instinct. And I think that there are certain topics or certain things that it's like, I don't want to go into too much detail about XYZ because I'm not proud of this behavior for myself, and I don't want to influence other people into thinking like condoning this kind of behavior. Not that I do anything that's whatever. But like I probably drive more than I should. I don't like how much I drive around a lot. I have a bike. It needs to have air put in the tires. And for a while that was my reason for not doing it. And like, but it's like one of those things where it's like, I would rather encourage people to do the right thing, to do the good thing for, humanity, for the environment, for whatever, despite, whatever my behaviors might be. But I feel like drinking is another one of those things that neither of us drink heavily on stream.
No.
Or have it be like a regular thing.
No, it's been like, I've had celebratory like Prosecco and bubblies, and I've had some whiskey, like had one glass of whiskey. My partner celebration, I got a little tipsy there, but sorry about that. But other than that, it's been, I've tried not drinking. Especially because I don't want to form a habit around it either. Mm-hmm. Like if you if you were to have a beer with every stream, you would have to have a beer with every stream to have the same headspace.
Yep.
And coming in and being sober and having that as normalcy is a lot easier than having to go into that fun state of mind.
Yeah.
I just did air quotes.
Yeah, I agree.
I now realized that Alanna is the only one seeing me. I hope.
Yeah, I agree. I think like the only time, so like it's normal for me to have a drink on Fridays. So like we'll do our like Friday cheers every week because it's like an end of the week, end of the day. Like it's just a tradition, but I will drink usually one cider. It's rare that I'll have a second one. I have a very high like alcohol tolerance in general. So like I've never reached a point of being like inebriated on stream, but like it is a nice tradition that we have. But I always make a point of when we're cheersing to say like it doesn't matter what you're drinking, we can cheers to Friday anyway. You know, like I'm having a cider or a glass of wine or whatever, but like you can have, you know, tea, water, soda, etc. Because I think having that awareness of like, oh, well, this is something that could, especially if someone's like an alcoholic and you're, promoting drinking all the time. It's like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to inadvertently influence you.
Yeah, I've talked on stream about my struggles with alcohol, how much I've not abused, but used alcohol post gigs, drinking, having a life that I didn't find that enjoyable. Mm-hmm. And I was sober for most of 2020. I was sober from March until July, and then from July to December. Didn't find any reason to drink. And now when things are opening up and I'm going, wow, okay, I can hang out with some people, but we can also just have some beers. It doesn't have to be the all-night experience that I used to love and then needed and craved. Mm-hmm. And trying to talk about that also on stream is... Because I guess as a content creator, we have a responsibility as well.
Yeah.
Because you're putting forth an image and people are listening to you and what you're saying. And you are subconsciously influencing people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And trying to talk about like good things instead of smoke cigarettes and drink alcohol, kids. It will make you cool. Don't do that. The other way around. Mm-hmm. I think there's also a real... the kids are coming around to not drinking, nor smoking here, at least in Sweden. It's very uncommon for youngsters to be drinking and smoking, which is good.
Yeah.
Old man Elfving approves.
I think it's definitely rarer for people to smoke here now. Like the younger people, it's much less common. But drinking is definitely still like a big thing here. But I'm so like partially because I have a very high like alcohol tolerance. I've never been the kind of person that's like, I'm going to drink to like get drunk or whatever. Like that's just way too much work for me. It just takes, and like, I know that it's not going to last, and I don't like the feeling of not having control over my body. And, so I try to avoid that. And like, I've been shamed for it in the past, or like I've had people just like blatantly not believe me. Or be like, oh, like people who are more drunk than I am. And they're like, oh, you have to be like, blah, 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 blah. And I'm literally like, no, like I've been drinking water for the last hour. Like, you just haven't noticed. Like, because I don't like the feeling of being at that like end state. So like I can drink a good amount. I just know how to, I know how to handle myself, I guess. But
it's the journey there. That is the fun thing. But it is having the first few beers.
Oh, yeah.
The 19th beer is very seldom a good and fun beer. But like the first few ones are always incredible. Mm-hmm. I have the opposite problem.
Okay.
Where people think I'm a lot more sober than I am. Where people will go, Theo, did you drink anything last night? No, and yes, I was completely and utterly smashed. In my head, I only heard do, but do beer, do shots. And then people will go, but you were coherent, and I was talking about like, yeah. Nope.
That's funny.
So I also try nowadays to, also why I try to limit.
So I do find that for me, like within the first like 2 or 3 drinks, I get extremely affectionate. I am an incredibly affectionate, like,
yes.
I'm not going to say drunk because I'm not drunk, but it's just like alcohol for me, like, seems to open the floodgates on just like, I think I'm a little shy. Even with like my friends, I have a hard time reaching out to people. And it's gotten me in trouble before where people are like, you're not my friend anymore because you haven't reached out enough. And I'm like, no, I'm just really bad at it. I'm sorry. I do care about you a lot. I promise. And I find if I have when I'm at the state of having like had a couple of drinks, I'm immediately more likely to be like, hey, we should hang out sometime, or like, hey, I really care about you, or like, I miss you, or like, it's just like, it for some reason, it just opens the gates in my brain that lets me like love people. I don't understand why, but
I'm also, that was during the partner celebration. My wife was talking, she was narrating my drunkenness, or going, because I have like, first I get very, very giggly, and then I get very, very affectionate.
Yeah.
And then I start talking about how we're all just primates, that we're all just monkeys and everything is just made up. Money isn't real. It's just that we have agreed as a society. And I'll sit there and blabber on about that over whiskey and go, but you don't understand. We could end this whole house. It's just we made this.
So you just basically like laugh a lot, and then you love everyone, and then you just dive deep into existential crisis mode.
Yes.
Okay.
And then giggle.
Okay. Okay.
And then we circle back to giggle.
Oh, okay, great.
And then it's giggle all the way until I sleep.
Yeah. Giggles all the way down.
Yes. There's a brief monkey face, and then there's giggles again.
Yeah.
Which I'm very, very fine with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just that sometimes people get a bit not scared, but like it's a topic that is weird to talk about.
Oh yeah.
Especially if you're not anticipating it, you're sitting having a beer, and then I go, we're all just monkeys.
Yeah.
Sir, I think you should leave.
I was at a wedding a couple summers ago, and it was at this big, like, beautiful outdoor venue, and it was extremely late, and someone had like a bonfire going in the middle of a field, and like I didn't know everyone at the wedding super well. It was like my best friend's wedding, but then like a lot of her friends from like other parts of her life who I didn't know. And so we went up and sat at the fire with these people that we were very like tangentially aware of, kind of. And like just as we sat down, like this one guy was just on a full tangent about how everything is a conspiracy and how life isn't real and like all of this stuff. Wow. And I'm just like coming from like wedding vibes. I had just been like playing, so the DJ also had a guitar there, and as he was like packing up, I had just taken his guitar and I'd just been like playing his guitar, like it was the end of the night. And so I had just come from this like really nice like musical moment and like having like a fun chat with this guy to like my husband and I walking up to this fire being like, nothing is real. And I'm like, I am not. Nope. This is not what I thought I was walking into, and I'm going to bed now.
It's usually when I have like one-on-ones with people, I turn into the talking about money. It's more that I'm. It happens to me a lot though, the monkey thing, or just like. Because I'm so in awe of what we've built as a species, like that we're just primates, and we've this technology that we're using now.
Yeah,
it's so dang weird.
Yeah,
and like looking at my grandfather who was born in the 1900s, taking that same leap backwards from when he was born, the technological advancements that has happened. It's just mind-boggling, and that is the things that I start thinking about and verbalizing more when I had alcohol.
I love it. I think that's great.
That's another you can check out my other podcasts. People Are Apes.
We're all just monkeys. Theodor Elfving. Yeah,
some more than others.
It is strange to think about that. I will say that like whenever I realize that everything was made by a human, that's always what is that moment for me, where it's like everything, like even if it was made by a machine,
it's still
the machine was made by a human.
Yes.
And like I feel like there's so much stuff, like when we get, when you get stuff delivered, when things are ordered for you, it's easy to forget that it's like some person put this thing in this box and they taped the box and they put the box
into the center. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Like it's a weird thing when you consider that, like when you look at like your clothing, when you look at all of the stuff in your house and you're like, oh wait, like people made this, a human.
The amount of hands who have touched the things that you're.
Yeah. The amount of effort that's gone into this thing that has eventually made its way into my house. It's very odd. It's a very, very strange thought. Anyway, how did we get here?
Alcohol.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
That's also how we got here as a species. Alcohol.
To try and spin it back around.
Fermenting fruits.
There you go. Perfect. To try and spin it back, just thinking about the thinking about what you said about like subconsciously influencing people. I think that's a really important thing to be aware of.
And especially, I guess, over time. If you have a one-off with someone, it doesn't really matter. But I mean, I care about what you say about things. Even before we started talking, like if Alanna says this is probably. So just knowing that words have impact.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I had a strange moment this week, actually. I'm trying to think about how to tell this story without doxing anybody. Basically, it was brought to my attention that someone was making plans for something and that they had included me as part of these plans and were pitching these plans to somebody else as though I was already aware and signed off on these plans, and I was not. And it was really concerning because luckily this person came to me and they were like, hey, blah, 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 blah. And it all turned out fine. Everything is fine. Everything is calm. But there was definitely a solid moment where I was like, based on who I am in the community, and especially I think to other women, like I'm very, very vocal about supporting like women and about the issues that I've had in the past with discrimination and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so I think a lot of people who know that look to me as a safe figure. And so if I've signed off on something, they can assume that it's a safe situation. And so to have my name kind of used for something that I hadn't signed off on was a really awful feeling of being like, I don't know what this is. And people are trusting it just because my name is attached to it. Was very weird.
That must be yeah. I don't even know how I would respond to something like that. Like, I do not approve this message.
Yeah, it was difficult. I mean, like, I was just honest. I was just like, I don't know what this is. I don't really know who this person is. Like, it was I do not know all the way down, basically. Which was, obviously raised some big red flags for the person who had brought it forward. And like, I think everything is like mostly smoothed out now, but it was a very odd situation of being like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. No, you can't just inherently trust this. And then the thing is, because I didn't know the person that was putting the whole thing together, I didn't feel like I could reach out to them and be like, hey, like,
hey.
So I just kind of sat on it, but everything again has like turned out fine and it seems to be okay. But it was a really strange moment of being like, oh, like I have a role in this community, especially for women, I think.
Yeah.
And it's nice to know that I'm a trusted voice, but it's also has weird repercussions.
There are so many more things to consider than I anticipated. This is so much more than playing guitar, because I thought I'll play 2 hours of music every day, and that would be it. but there's so many more things and people that you learn, that you build friendships with and real bonds. People that you care about deeply. And it's and when you get approached by people who ask you to do X, Y, and Z, and just going, is this something I believe in? Where do I put my foot down? What kind of boundaries do I have for what I do?
Yeah.
Because people trust me with their time, and I don't want to. It's the same thing with sponsors, I guess. Like, would you like to play casino online and stream that? No, not in a million years. I would never do that.
No.
And those things you have to think about all the time when you make decisions that this will affect more people than yourself. Is unexpected for me. The man who never thinks things through fully before he does them.
I do think that it does really show who you are, though, and who I am as well. That, like, our first thought isn't like, oh, well, how much money can I make off of this? It's like, oh, well, how is this going to impact the community? And I've had some interesting interactions with people wanting to collaborate or wanting me to come on their shows or on their channels or podcasts or whatever. And I've had to come to this realization of, like, I need to be very careful what I attach my name to, because I don't want to sign off on something that I don't actually agree with, kind of thing. And so now I'm very much like, and the people that I've said no to are mostly strangers. It's mostly people that I don't know that are just like, oh, hey, come be on my show. And it's like, oh, hey, come be in my channel for a bit first. It's another one of those situations where it's like, you can't just come out of the blue and be like, oh, people seem to like you, come on my podcast. It's like, no,
hello,
I
like
need to know who
please.
You are first. Like, I need to know that you know who I am.
I've also now learned to ask the important questions. How? Like, when people ask, can you do this? How long will it be? What do you expect from me? What will we be talking about? What's the purpose of this? Instead of just going, yes.
Yeah. It's a really delicate dance. And it makes me think of, we've talked about the differences between, like, Twitch and YouTube on here before, but I think that you have to deal with these things much sooner on Twitch than you have to on YouTube, as far as, like, when you look at, like, a growth metric, right? Like, someone who has, 10,000 followers or subscribers on YouTube, they're not going to be thought of for sponsorships. They're not going to be looked at as, influencers or as, whatever. Like, 10,000 is still a significant number, but it's, in the grand scheme of YouTube, it's not a lot. No. And it's not enough for them to be considered to have influence, I guess. Whereas on Twitch, especially in Twitch music, having 10,000 followers is like, that's a lot. That puts you in the top whatever percent. And so now it's like, okay, you are actually open for sponsorships. You are at a point where people are considering coming and standing behind you, and where you do actually have an influence over, like, you are considered to I don't want to say be an influencer, but to have influence, to have to be aware of what you're saying and how you're acting and all of that. It's just interesting.
It is very interesting. I'm having the exact same thoughts, and it was very nice hearing you. It's These talks are very. Is it the word cathartic?
Yes.
Yeah.
Word of the day.
Theodor's words.
Yes.
Just having a colleague and someone I really trust and respect, and having these chats, it's amazing. And as we talk as much as we do off pod as well, it's very nice as well.
It is nice.
It's a weird, untested grounds for a lot of people. The content creation route.
How do you feel about Discord?
How do you mean?
Like, is Discord something that you actively think about or worry about, or is it something that it just is what it is and you don't think about it?
It is something I worry about and think a lot about. It's not something it's a thing that I think I should be trying to improve. Like my own Discord server and being more active. But I love your Discord server. I lurk there a lot.
Oh, good. Because I also worry about Discord all the time.
Because you have a very active server.
I'm glad you think so.
Yeah, a lot of vocal community members and topics being discussed.
Yeah. I go back and forth on it a lot. There's days where I feel like there are days when I feel like it is active, and then there's other days where I feel like it isn't. And I look at other people's, and it always feels, again, that comparison thing comes up, whereas it's like, oh, I'm not, my Discord server isn't as active, or it's not, people aren't like looking for it. But I think it's such a strange extra ask for us to like, okay, well, you're going to go perform music. Oh, but you're also going to manage this community and this server where people can then like hang out when they're not listening to you play music. And it's like, but why?
There are some real superheroes on the Twitch music scene that can do it all. They TikTok, they Instagram, they stream music. They also have a vibrant and active Discord community. And I've come to realize that I should just be grateful that I am able to stream. Whenever I have those, I should, and just going, no. You know what? I'm truly blessed and happy to have people show up for the things I do, and Discord things will happen as they do. Yeah, the day it needs to be more active. But it is a thing I think a lot about, and just trying to trim it, trim the amount of rooms and channels. And we were talking before about making like a joint Twitch music thing a while back. Yeah. But we realized that people already are members of 90 million servers, and having one more would not be beneficial. I'm going live now with these tunes. Okay, cool. 5 minutes later, I'm going live with these tunes.
Yeah, it's it is just a strange extra thing that is an expectation. And I do really like my Discord server. I really like being able to chat with people and have that, like, foster that. But I don't have the spoons to do movie nights, to do game nights, to do community activities. I just it's enough that I manage to stream 3 to 4 times a week, yet alone like then also having to do these things. And I admire so much the people that can do that. I do also work.
And you have a husband.
I do also have a husband and a dog and like friends.
Muy importante, and hobbies and other things you want to do.
Well, exactly.
It's weird. You never think going into this that this will be more work than you think, but it is. Oh,
it is. And it's not like, I don't want to sound ungrateful for the work or that the work is too hard. Like, it's not, but I think it is like mostly, and this is irrelevant to the people who are listening to this podcast because they probably already understand Twitch. But I think that there's a lot of people who can look from the outside at Twitch and say like, oh, well, you're just sitting in your room and talking into a microphone. And it's like, yes, I am. But there's a reason why I'm able to do that and make a living is because I've put in all of this extra work on TikTok, on Instagram, on Discord, on Twitch, on Twitter,
on talking into a microphone before as well.
Correct.
Being captivating and being entertaining enough to have people sit there and listen to you talk. Yeah. It's also, and having quote unquote content. My main gripe or my main issue with Discord as well is I don't do too well in text. Or when I'm chatting to you on Discord, it's easy because I can formulate the tone that I want. Yeah. to be perceived. But if you're talking to, like, do you use the community? Listen, I have released new content for you to consume. Come hither and I will show. Or do you have the, Hi guys. So I have a new video. I will very much like it if you hit like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Or where do you? It's weird.
I feel
And I'm trying to learn how.
I feel like my Discord voice is always just exhausted. Or at least that's what it sounds like in my head. It's just like, okay, guys, here we go. We're going to do this. Yep.
Well,
all right. This is the plan for the week. We're going to see what happens. Let's get pumped.
I hear when I read your messages, I hear a very chipper Alanna in my head. That's how I read your messages.
I'm glad.
Not that voice, no, not that.
That's what I would like it to.
My name is Manfred.
Yes, I would like it to come off as like lighthearted and chipper, but it is often that like I am just like it's just this very like
struggling here.
I feel very much like I'm mimicking like my husband when I do this because he's always like he sees the exhaustion in me, and whenever he does, he's always like, okay, let's go, we're gonna do this, all right, we're just gonna do this one thing. And so it's always like, all right guys, we've got a schedule, and like this very like it's like over animated to try and like counter the sheer exhaustion that is seemingly never ending. It works. Yeah, great. Perfect.
Well, it's the same thing, I guess, as like if you smile enough, you'll believe it yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
Like if you're sad, put that frown upside down.
Oh.
You just want to kick people in the shins to say that to you, though. But it actually it works.
It does. Yeah. It does work. Question, because I would like you to tell a story, because I'm doing that dumb thing again where I'm looking at the waveform and I'm like, Alanna hasn't shut the fuck up this entire podcast. What? God damn it.
That is false.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You want me to tell a story?
I do want you to tell a story. So my question was going to be, I mean, you can tell whatever story you want, but if you want to answer my question, we were talking about raids and how
such a weird conversation. Someone asked you, well, let me tell you a story unrelated to what you're talking about.
It could happen. So we were talking about raids and how it was different when you started, like your reaction to raids initially versus your reaction to raids now. Has the people that you look up to changed from when you started to where you are now? So like I know, for example, like for me, there are certain people that I looked up to when I first started that I still look up to now. To name a couple of names too, like Natalie Holmes has always been very inspiring to me. Yeah. Claire Pix as well, someone that I looked up to a lot. I think everyone looks at Autopilot and just goes, "You're amazing."
Who?
Don't even. I was almost going to answer you. You almost got me. People like that. But I think that there's other people that I still admire, but who, now that I'm closer to them as friends or as peers, I don't look up to them in the same way that I used to. Like, they're not on a pedestal for me. I still admire them, and I still think that they're doing amazing work. But I think that now that I know them better, I don't look at them so much as this like person on a pedestal that's kind of like just this fantasy human that's unreachable.
It's not a demigod anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they're still someone that I admire a lot, but I know them better now. So like someone like Liv Harris, her and I are friends now. I still think she's amazing. I still can't believe that we're friends sometimes. But like I used to look at her as this like, this like goal. Like I would often look and say like, I want to be where you are. And I'm not where she is yet. But I know her now and I still admire her. In fact, I think I admire her more, but I look at her differently because I know her more as a person now. And I think I have more respect for her now that I know her better. Not that I didn't have respect for her before. I'm digging myself a hole. But just like, like the way, like as your time goes on, point being, do you have people, huh? Pardon?
Yeah. If I have people, I think people I used to admire or like look up to as demigods, I now just respect a whole lot more, and like respect for their craft and the amount of hours they put in. Whereas you said before, a person who doesn't know Twitch and how it is to stream, when you look at people initially and go, well, they're just playing guitar in their room. I could do that. And then you do it and you go, oh my God. Oh, dear, no. And then it dawns on you how many hours they have put in. How many hours they've practiced their instrument and learned all the things. And like they've been live and built communities and lasting things. If there's people who I admire still or respect, I don't know. Yeah, of course. I mean, I Am Richard was like one of my first things where I started watching. And I started watching you and Greg as well. The compliments, Greg and Alicia, and this unknown British something Ordo pilot. Yeah, that's the one.
Who?
I still remember the day when he came into my channel and followed me. I've watched him since 2007 on YouTube. I've
awesome.
loved him since 2007. He's been one of my heroes.
Wow.
Like music wise.
Yeah.
And then one day, in May of last year, Autopilot is now following, and I went 100% fanboy. My brain just erupted, and I think I played him one of the songs that he put on YouTube in 2007, Muse, This Time Is Running Out. And that was just wild.
That's amazing.
And I that was also front page magic. A person I've been following on YouTube for years. It's a cooking show called Pretty Good Cooking. Mm-hmm. And it used to be Phil, the main is he called protagonist?
Sure.
in his house cooking whilst his friend films him. And they do some drunk cooking. And he's like a real proper chef. But he drinks a lot of beer and he cooks things. And I've been following them on YouTube. And then during front page, Pretty Good Cooking is now following you because he's also streams. And my brain went, what the actual?
Oh, man.
How is this my life now? I get to have like a little interaction with people I've been looking up to for, I think for the past 5 years, I've been watching his content every Tuesday.
Wow.
So, to answer your question, and if there's any streamers, I mean, yes. But there's also new people who I really admire. Where you look at them and you go, wow, there's so much talent. And it's so weird to the notion that we're all on the same playing field is just weird. Because some people feel like they're Zlatan.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm a 12-year-old with a football going, hello, I made it onto the field. And just being able to play on the same field is incredible.
It is incredible. I agree.
And it makes me want to perform better music and be a better performer and creator, which is fun. When the comparison beast is working in your favor.
I was literally about to say exactly the same thing. I'm like, that is the one time when the comparison beast is like on your side. When he comes in and he's like, hey, I think it's the difference between like comparing yourself and being inspired.
Yeah.
And I do think that it takes a certain amount of wisdom to get from that one point to the next. So like, I think anyone could have the comparison beast just breathe down their neck, no matter what the situation is. But I think it takes some experience and wisdom and self-awareness to be able to be like, actually, you know what, I'm going to be inspired.
Yeah.
Instead of feeling bad about myself because this person is so good, I'm going to use the fact that they're so good to inspire me to be better.
There's also the wonderful quote, what is it? Hard work beats talent when talent isn't working hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is also, like, if you just putting in, same thing with jogging or exercising, if you just do it over time. But it's those days of when it's difficult. Mm-hmm. It's good to remember that just as a passage, and you look back on that as well.
Yeah.
Did I tell you about, I have a gig.
You have a gig?
I'll be playing live music for a live ostrich. No,
wow.
A live audience next Wednesday. It's going to be a lot of fun.
That's very exciting. Is it just like in a bar or?
It's the same concept we did in Gothenburg, the thing with the moving boat. Mm-hmm. It originated here in Malmo, where I live. So I'll be playing there on Wednesday. Oh, because that's a very good analogy to sum this up, because when I started playing music, that boat has been going around the canal here for years. And I thought, wow, one day I would like to at least play one song there. And then through happenstance, I got to know the people who ran the boat. Mm. And then I managed to do a guest appearance one night during one of their gigs, and I played 2 songs, and it went very well. And then I thought it was... No. I thought I saw Clive.
Oh, probably.
Never mind. No. Yeah, I thought you were going for the door.
Nope.
So, and then one night the owner asked me, could you come down and play like a full set? And that was like my dream come true.
That's amazing.
And then we built the same concept in Gothenburg, where I worked full time and did that as my that is now where when I'm saying it, it's ridiculous. How?
Yeah.
So much fun.
I have been thinking about reaching out to places. Toronto's weird. Toronto's weird when it comes to music.
Is it a saturated market for musicians?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's heavily saturated, but it's less of like bars are less likely to pay you to come and play. They don't want live music to be there unless the band is promoting it as like a show.
Okay.
So it's a different atmosphere in terms of like it's rarer for a restaurant to just be like, hey, I want to pay you to be here to play this many hours to do XYZ. It's more like bands are reaching out to the venues to be like, hey, I want to play a show here. And the venue's like, okay, well, some of them charge. And then some of them are like, oh, well, you have to have a minimum of this many people in here to pay off the bar staff and blah, blah, blah.
Jesus.
So this is why I haven't really done anything. But like, bars aren't really open here yet. Like, we're limited capacity for indoor dining. So I don't really know how bars work at this point. I just haven't been bothered to try. And like, that's the thing, is that there's a part of me that's like, hey, I could try and book a live show, or I could try and see if people will pay me to come and play outside. Like, there's patios everywhere. Yeah. So it's like, oh, maybe I can go get a live gig somewhere outside. But I could also just not. I could also just play on Twitch and have a better time and not leave my house or worry about equipment or rentals or, you know, all of these things. I've realized that I'm going to have to invest in a keyboard at some point, like in a piano, when I do start like playing live again, because like my keyboard is melded with my desk. And I never used to play piano when I played shows. Only if I was playing like all original music, and then maybe but I would borrow keyboards usually, whereas now it's like, if I'm going to go play a set, I really want to have my piano. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's just a daunting thing. And it's like, I don't necessarily gain that much from going out and venturing out to find live shows at this point in time. I just
realized now that with playing gigs comes also the wonderful thing of carrying your gear. Lugging your... Do you have a PA system?
I always rent it.
I own one. The fun of lugging that thing around. But we were talking about last week, and as well, about goals. Mm-hmm. And that is also one of my goals now. There's a pub in town here that I'm gonna approach, I think, this weekend. I've made a pitch, and I'm gonna see if they'll be open to perhaps doing a either bi-weekly or once a month type of gig that I can stream to Twitch as well, and like have that set up with the whole bar, so they're all informed of what's going on, and having that like a thing for them. Very scary. Thinking that I can waltz in there going, "Hello, well, I have a proposition for you, monorail." But I think it's a word, and I generally think it's a good idea to combining Twitch with a venue, if you can make it, if the staff knows about it and the audience knows about it, it's a live thing. And if you make it a thing that happens once in a while, instead of having like the one-off.
Yeah, I think as long as there's a way for the venue and the people that are watching to participate or to understand what's happening, like to be able to see chat, I think is the biggest thing.
I'm thinking of like a projector thing where people can, and also having like, or if nothing else, having an audience member, someone that you know, be Twitch chat.
Yeah.
So they'll be a patron and a part of the experience. And then that person can post questions from Twitch chat or requests.
That's nice. That's a good way to do it. Yeah. I think that way it's like there's a middleman. Because I just still can't wrap my head around that, like looking at chat while being on a stage.
I've seen so many things on Twitch where people are playing like live gigs.
Yeah.
Or they're playing for Twitch chat whilst being in a bar room. And it's weird.
Yeah.
When you're hired by management to entertain the crowd, and it's neither.
Yes, exactly. That's always been my issue. But I have been thinking about some friends of mine have a space. At least I think they have the space still. That's like they were doing music videos there. It's just a small studio, and I've thought about having like shows there where it is all very integrated and
cool.
I don't know. It's just. Because I need more projects, Theo. I need more things to do with my brain space. I've got so much of it.
But I think it's good to do that. These little talks give me the way to manifest it as well. Mm-hmm. It keeps me, responsible.
Accountable?
No. Accountable, that's not the word.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've thought about reaching out to there's a couple breweries in my area that have like really large outdoor seating areas. And I've thought about like reaching out to them and being like, are you interested in having live music for, a couple of hours every other weekend afternoon? I just like, there's something, and this is, I'm going to be momentarily vulnerable. There's something about live music at venues that makes me very self-conscious. Not because I think that I'm bad, but because the people that came to the brewery didn't sign up for this.
Oh.
They didn't sign up for me. They might not like what I'm playing. They might not like my voice. And now they've come to this brewery and they're just subjected to listening to me for 2 hours if they want to stay, or they leave. Yeah. And I know that I should be okay with like people just leaving when they don't enjoy the show.
I find that very hard to imagine someone leaving, hearing your voice going, nope, this is not.
But like, if you're having conversations or you're just not into the style,
okay,
like,
well, yeah, in that case, yeah.
It's not their fault.
But it's fine. There's other places.
Yeah, it's just like this is my issue is that like when I'm setting up, I'm immediately so like, is everyone happy? Is everyone enjoying this? Like, is this like, am I bothering people? Like, I have such a fear of being an annoyance, and so like.
Have I told you my motto?
No.
If you can't blind them with brilliance, you baffle them with bullshit. That is how I approach bar gigs. And just being, okay, so I never have a plan for when I'm playing those gigs.
Yeah.
It's always just throwing feelers out there, playing like Bob Dylan, going, okay, was there anyone paying attention to that song? No, okay, cool. Bruce Springsteen? There we go. One person. Now that person is in. Good. Now we have that table over there. Should we try some 90s, see if that works? Oh, there we go. The other, okay, now they're mingling, and then it spreads.
Yeah.
I miss that. I really miss being the puppeteer of the evening, having people singing along. And when you make people stay, when they're supposed to have like one drink, and they stay for 4 hours, and they go, wow.
Yeah, that is really nice. That's a nice
one of the best feelings ever.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what another really great feeling is?
No.
Realizing that we've been chatting for, I think, our longest episode yet.
Oh my goodness. No.
Yeah.
Impossible.
We should wrap it up. But this has been wonderful. All of you who have lasted to the end, congratulations. Yes. You win our eternal gratitude and
you win
a
free song request. You win a free song request bump by saying the phrase Baba Booey.
Oh, there you go.
If you type Baba Booey in chat, you get a free song at my place.
Oh, either of ours. If you type that in, I will understand what you're talking about, and you get a free live learn on my channel as a reward for getting to the end of the podcast, because congratulations.
And speaking of the end of podcast, this has been the final episode of bi-weekly podcasts.
That is correct. That was a very good pause. I was waiting for you to finish it. Yeah, so big news.
We decided that we really enjoy doing these things. So we're going to do weekly podcasts instead.
Which also means Friday. That we're going to catch up on like the dates. So it'll be released a lot closer to when we actually record it. So there's an episode coming out tomorrow. And then what I might do is release a bonus episode next week. So release episode 6 and episode 7 in the same week, so that we're only a week behind instead of being 2 to 3 weeks behind all the time. Yeah. So that's the plan currently.
I'm so glad. Because Mondays, this is though our Thursday today, but we usually record Mondays. Mm-hmm. And Mondays have been one of my favorite days of the week now. Because I get to chat with you, and I usually go for a run afterwards and just get the whole, it's gonna be a good week.
That's amazing. Oh, I get to go swimming tomorrow. Oh.
Noise.
I'm so excited.
I've been watching too much Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I can't stop saying noise.
Nice. My name is Alanna Matty. You can find me online at Alanna Matty, basically everywhere. Alanna W. Matty on Instagram. But I'm pretty sure if you search for Alanna Matty on Instagram, I still am the one that pops up. So
my name is Theodor Elfving. I'm Theodor Elfving everywhere.
Perfect. Easy.
That's my pitch.
Easy.
You should also check out Alanna Matty on Patreon.
Yes, please. Yes, please do that.
We never talk about this enough, but you have a fully fledged out Patreon page.
I do.
Check out Alanna there and pledge.
Yeah, you can get like lots of stuff for like $3. It's very good. There's a lot of music on there, and if you subscribe now, you get all of the stuff that I've already posted. So like, if you start now, you've got so much content to get caught up on.
And that is value.
Yeah, value for your money. That's what I'm here for. Thank you for podcasting.
I'm sorry for plugging your Patreon, but
it's okay. I appreciate it.
I'm terrible at plugging myself.
Same. It was just a very last quick comment about the plugging. Is that for my partner celebration, our wonderful friend 330 wrote on my kudo board, since I know you're saying this out loud, I have a Patreon. You should go and subscribe, because he knew I was reading the post out loud. And it made me laugh very hard.
He's worth my weight in cinnamon buns.
Heck yeah.
That's quite the hefty pile of cinnamon buns for you.
Indeed. Well, I'm going to go eat dinner, speaking of cinnamon buns. Have a wonderful night. I have Lego
crisps here.
Thank you for chatting with me. It was very nice.
Thank you for chatting with me.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Next Friday.
Next Friday.
Have a great day.
Have a great day. Make street elephants a horse thing.
Make street elephants a horse thing.
We almost didn't say it.